Morocco, the first country to recognize the U.S. as a nation after independence. Today, it's a cultural gateway to Africa, a beautiful blend of Berber, Arabic, African, and Mediterranean cultures. A haven for artists throughout time who discovered inspiration in the landscapes, textures, and sounds. It's a world of winding streets, time-worn walls, covered in color and adorned in art, lush with culture and laden with history, and where crossing the street is an art form. But wait, how'd we get here? First you pack. Just a little more. Almost forgot something. And now it's time to go. You drive to Logan, you wait, you board, you try to sleep, you don't. After a short layover in New York, you're on your way. And just like that, you're in Africa. Since being here, we've explored more Medinas than I can count, filled with cats, some peacocks, and what felt like more motorcycles than people sometimes. And we ate so much. Tagine after tagine, meters of pizza, and more couscous than you could eat. It's paradise. The place we stayed at had two cats that I'm pretty sure had new names every time we saw them. They weren't overly fond of being left out of eating affairs. There were even cats in the art gallery I worked at. There's pretty much cats everywhere. There's also a call to prayer. 5 times a day. Every day. You'd probably learn to accept it as an early morning wake-up call. Probably. After we settled in and maybe got a little bit too comfortable, we started to find our footing and were finally ready to go off and explore. Our first stop was the blue city hidden in the mountains, Chefchaouen. Between the painted streets, 70-cent crepes, and priceless views, this city is one of the most magical places I've ever been. The first night we met a dog in the square that we appropriately named Labas. We woke up early the next morning for a sunrise hike to the Spanish mosque led by a new friend. Labas was even kind enough to guide us back down, even if he got a bit distracted. After successfully spending the day hunting for jalabas, we spent that night on the roof of our Airbnb, taking in the view of the mountains backdrop by the night sky. Following Chefchaouen was Fez, which has the biggest medina in all of Morocco. Just watch out for the donkeys. The tannery didn't smell too great, but the view wasn't half bad. After exploring the ancient Roman ruins of Volubilis, it was finally time for Marrakesh. It's sort of like the Vegas in this area of the world. There's exotic gardens, lavish homes, and the biggest city square in all of Africa. Walking through here at night is easily one of the most overwhelming moments a human can experience. Every vendor is vying to grab your attention, often physically. At times it was sort of funny. Imagine dozens of pop-up ads from self-assured guys trying to get you to eat their questionable street food. The last big trip was to the Sahara Desert. It took a few days to get there, so along the way we stayed in some cool hotels, fed or tried to feed some monkeys, played a little bit of Smash, and took in some breathtaking views. Our bus got pulled over on the way and our driver might have paid off the police. Anyways, just as we had enough of being stuck on the bus, we made it. It was finally time to pick your camel and mount up.
Don't growl at me, you little bluster.
We got there just in time for a sunset ride through the dunes of the desert to our campground. Upon arrival, we immediately dropped our bags to go sandboarding. After a beautiful speech by Hunter, we had dinner.
Stars.
Hey.
To what?
To what? Best friends.
To best friends.
We spent that night having a bonfire and laying in the dunes staring at the clearest night sky I've ever seen. We counted shooting stars, satellites, and could even make out the outline of the Milky Way. It's without a doubt the most surreal night I've ever had. Between the snow-capped mountains, rocky caverns, crowded marketplaces, and sandy dunes, it's still not really about where you go, but who it's with. Together we had movie nights, caught some waves, and ate like we never had before. We celebrated the Chinese New Year, Valentine's Day, and even a few birthdays. And maybe at the start of this trip, many of us didn't know each other too well, but I think we all went home with new memories and new friends. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we went far.
So sick and tired of the pouring rain, I took a train to Morocco just to kill the pain. Oh, it might help a little, it might help a lot, I don't know, but it's all I got. Ran down the aisle, found a window by the bar, I blew a cigarette to pieces, so I lit up a cigar. Oh, this might hurt a little, this might hurt a lot, I don't know, but it's all I got.
It's video. What is it? It's video.